Nicholas Coriano with Servitude Intelligent Relations here to tell you my investor relations tip of the day. The investor relations tip of the day today is press releases may not be enough. So I don't know how many CEOs, public company CEOs, and this is generally in the micro cap space, over the counter space, that the first thing they want to do in an investor relations campaign is send out a press release. This is old school. That is old school. Okay, I'm not saying to abandon the press release. You definitely need to put out a press release. As a matter of fact, OTC markets, if you guys are trading on OTC markets and pretty much any stock exchange, they have a news release system there that you can put your news up there and it'll show up in that little section that says news. So press releases are important, especially when a lot of investors do look for press releases. If you guys look at message boards or talk to other investors, they definitely want to see news, but they want to see the news. And this is the problem with today's age. Technology age. Before you put out a press release, and what would happen is the news wires would pick it up, and then reporters would actually write news, go figure, based on the press release. Today, it doesn't really happen that way. When you issue a press release, a lot of times it only goes over one or two news wires, and if people aren't checking that news wire, they don't see it. For example, I've had many times where public company CEOs put out a press release, and it shows up on OTC markets, but it doesn't show up on Google News, or it doesn't show up on Yahoo Finance. And this means that the press release wasn't seen by people checking the stock ticker on Google News. But even beyond that, what happens is people aren't just going to these press release centers on Google News to look for news. They're going to blogs to look for news. They're going to YouTube to look for news. They're going to LinkedIn to look for news. So number one, if I'm not saying, again, I want to make it really clear, I'm not saying to abandon a press release strategy or not issue press releases. I think they are a core fundamental part of any good investor relations program, and to keeping your shareholders and potential shareholders in tuned with what your company is doing. But once you issue that press release, make sure you share that press release, whether it's through direct email to a Noble list. And I went over that in another video. A Noble is your non-objecting beneficial owners, shareholders. These are people that did not object to knowing their name, their mailing address, and how many shares they have. So you want to directly email it or mail it to them. You want to share it on social media. So if you don't have a Facebook page or a Twitter page or a LinkedIn page, you probably should put the appropriate hashtags on it so it gets the traffic that you want. And then in addition, expand on your promotion, right? I've seen companies that put the press release right on Facebook as opposed to just sharing the link. I've seen people that do a direct email blast of their press release. So it may not be enough. Maybe there is a chance that you guys can issue a press release via video. YouTube happens to be the #1 social networking site in the world, above Facebook and above Instagram. So of course, press releases are a good idea, but they shouldn't be your all-encompassing strategy. If the only thing you guys are doing to get the word out on your public company is putting out a press release every 30 days, you are missing the mark. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of people that didn't see the message. And if you guys are going to only issue press releases, what I do recommend is make sure you put it on a news wire that's strong enough that shows up in other places. So this means it shows up on Google News, it shows up on Yahoo Finance, it shows up on Big News. And then once you guys do issue the press release, make sure you guys are actually sending it out to financial reporters, right? So these are people in financial newspaper, financial magazines, financial blogs that may pick up the story and write another story around that press release. So again, I am not saying abandon any press release strategy. I'm saying press releases alone may not be the best way to get the news out on your company. I hope you guys are rocking. If you guys want more, learn more about strategies, I write articles on servitude.com. And of course, we consult public companies on investor relations strategy. So feel free to contact us to discuss more. Hope you guys are rocking. Stay motivated.